Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Alright, here's my Dapol O-Gauge Class 08. Something a little bit different today. Going to install a Stay Alive. Okay, so just a little bit of a rundown. Those of you that subscribe, watch nearly all of my videos, probably know that I predominantly use the HMDCC sound decoders. First reason is they're available here in New Zealand, and they're a little bit cheaper. Having said that, my Class 15, which has a 22 pin socket, I ended up biting the bullet and bought a Lock Sound version 5 from Roads and Rails in the UK. With postage and the cost, it was probably getting up towards 300 New Zealand dollars, but the ESU product is top of the range, and one thing I will say, you get what you pay for. That locomotive, alright, it's a 4-axle locomotive on bogies, so it's a bit longer than, say, my Class 08, but it runs faultlessly. It does not actually have a Stay Alive in it, and provided my tracks are not filthy, it runs great. HMDCC is really good for me because I don't have to worry about the freight, and I can buy it from my local supplier here in New Zealand, and I can even part pay it on Afterpay. We call it Afterpay here, and fortunately, a shout out to my supplier, who is Iron Horse Hobbies in Christchurch, New Zealand, for stocking O-Gauge track and some accessories. I don't think they have a market for rolling stock, because a lot of people probably the sales not high enough, and people like myself probably order off the UK. But for bulky items, I can get my points on my track from Christchurch. So there is a reasonable community of O-Gauge modelers here in New Zealand, but the other, can't remember the actual name of the scale or the gauge, but there's a New Zealand Railways 32 mil or 1 to 32 scale, and the local modelers here use O-Gauge track. So effectively, that's the scale is the same as gauge 1, but doesn't run on the 42, 43 mil gauge 1 track, because we have narrow gauge railways of 3'6". So I think partly they keep a full range of points and track to service that market as well. Anyway, I got off topic, as I'm prone to do. We'll pause this, I'll get the loco out of the box, and we'll just quickly put in this Stay Alive, because actually the point I was getting to was these decoders do produce good sound, but I don't know whether it's because they're Bluetooth capable and use the Bluetooth when programming, and with the app they seem to need these. For some reason, even on clean track, just a straight piece of track, no points involved, it cuts out, loses signal, and the reason, in the past when you have seen this run on a layout, it has been running with one, but I damaged one, and I got another decoder. Basically, I ended up being short a power bank or a stay alive when I was working on my diesel Sentinel project. So, and that's even worse, being so short in the wheelbase. So I ended up taking the stay alive out of this and putting it in my Sentinel, and it is where it is now. So I needed to go back to Iron Horse Hobbies in Christchurch and get one of these. Just putting it out there, guys. Maybe we should give Hornby some feedback for those of you that use their sound decoders. I think even in double O, some locomotives and rolling stock probably needs these as well. I think it's a problem that affects all scales and gauges. So what I can't understand is why they don't include one of these, because the sound decoder comes with a speaker and a range of speaker boxes. Why not throw one of these in? Maybe there's additional money to be made. Anyway, that would be my suggestion. And anyway, without further ado, let's get this in the loco. Just got to be careful here, guys, not to pull on any of the fine plastic detail, even though it's a heavy die-cast chassis and there's even a bit of metal on the body. Some of these little detail pipes and what have you are just plastic, and they're easy to dislodge. Alright, so we'll just orientate that a bit better. Okay, so wasn't actually clipped on properly. Alright, so these Dappold Class 08s, rather nifty design, I think. So just the roof panel pops off, and you don't actually have to take the body off. I think it's a really good design idea, to be honest. And then if you want to change out a speaker or even swap a decoder, that's as easy as it is. So we'll just get this out of the packet. Alright, be right back. I'm just going to have to cut this little plastic bag. Alright, here it is here. Now, from China, I've never used Temu, but AliExpress do sell delays, DCC stay alives and some other accessories, but they don't come with these little plugs. And I had a go with one of my older decoders trying to solder it directly to the PCB board, but with my eyesight and not having a good desk mounted magnifying glass, I really struggled. So I ended up having to order the Hornby one, just so it can actually plug into the sound decoder itself. Focus, there we go. But it is quite good being plug and play. So we'll see if we can just push it in. So one side of the decoder there is where the speaker goes, and I've just got my speaker flicking around loose actually. Oh, hang on, I've used the bigger speaker enclosure. So that's the speaker there. Just tip, when you do these, put a bead of glue around the top just to totally seal out the speaker box. It improves the sound. So the speaker's stuck in facing downwards, and yeah, if there's any little ear gaps it will affect the sound. Actually, I'm going to just gently, forgive my hands, I'm just going to temporarily lift this out, which I've done here. It's probably actually better, easier to plug the Stay Alive in. Just get it the right way round. Yeah, it's easier to plug it in when it's not in the loco. There we go, as simple as that, just a little extra push. And then you can poke that back in the body of the locomotive, and then just gently line up the decoder onto the pins. Make sure it's around the right way, of course. No. Look at that, good thing I checked, I wasn't paying attention which way around it was. So it being a 21 pin, and there's one pin missing at one end, so that's how you can easily tell which way around it's going to go. So then just gently push it down, a bit of pressure on both sides, and drop it in like that. And then you put the speaker back in and put the lid back on. So now I'm back to having all my O-gauge locomotives that are equipped with the HMDCC 21 pin decoders. Back to having a Stay Alive for each locomotive now. Alright, sorry to waffle on for so long. Take care for now, and plenty more good stuff coming. Bye for now. Happy modelling.